Okay, for this week's book babble, I decided to focus on psychoanalytical criticism because we've been learning about that this week in school. And we've been focusing on mainly on the three parts of the psychoanalytical analysis. And the one part would be the id, the ego, and the superego. So those are like three different parts. The id is generally your it's kind of like your your subconscious, and it's like the devil on the one shoulder, and it's kind of when you don't have any reality of like consequences. Like you're kind of like going with it's the inner desire that you want to go after. The super ego is kind of the ultimate good. It's like the angel on this side, and it's when you are making the right decisions, you're thinking of others before you make these decisions, and so you're looking at those people. And then the ego is kind of like the in-between. It's the balance between the devil and the angel. And in my novel, Black Boy, I looked at two different characters and kind of focused on those two, as well as one other, which would be the balance. And so for the id, my main character, which is Richard Wright as a young boy, he is definitely the id part of psychoanalytical criticism, because he doesn't think about the consequences. He doesn't think about people's reaction, how they're going to feel when he does something. And he kind of does what he wants to do. He does his own thing. And it's that inner desire. And he's a young kid. So, I mean, you can kind of tend to see that in younger children is the id, like a stronger id, because they don't have that sense of discipline yet, maybe. And just basically based on how their parents are raising them. But he has a strong set of id because, like, he's done these bad things that he knows he's not supposed to do, and he kind of gets himself caught in the middle of things because it overpowers his free will. And then when you look at his mom, Ella, she's definitely a stronger part of superego, because she's doing the right thing. She's always being the parent. She's always cracking down on him. She doesn't have that evil side where it's like, oh, just let him be a kid, let him do his own thing. She disciplines him every time, and at the time it makes sense, but it's kind of physical discipline where you get spanked, and she goes pretty into that, and that's more of her. I think when you see the super ego, it's like the parenting side of her. She's only on her thoughts, only of her side, knowing what's right and wrong. And you can definitely see that in the novel through her actions and how she behaves. And then on the other hand, his grandmother, Richard's grandmother, she's the ego. She's the happy medium. She's the in-between that kind of keeps them balanced. Because, Richard and his mom fight so much, and she kind of wants to stray away from that. So the grandmother is definitely the ego. She's that middle. And, your grandmother always is going to be there and kind of try to look at your side, try to show your mom your side. So she's the middle part. And I think definitely psychoanalytical criticism really helps to give you a new outlook on what you're reading, and it kind of helps you go further in to look at the characters and look at why they're doing what they're doing.